many things the scholars wanted to say or argue, it was not listened. Anyhow, the first and foremost important thing that I would like to share with you, that as a scholar, research scholar, I have some experience while presenting a paper. When for the first time I went to present a paper, then the organizer or chairperson of the session said, "You have only 5 minutes." I got surprised. It was very tedious for me to summarize my paper. Next time, I have another very horrific experience that the chairperson said, "In 3 minutes, present your paper." It is more difficult. You know, Indian History Congress is the largest gathering of historians. I went in Malda session, Calcutta session, and chairperson said, "You are supposed to only give summary in 1 or 2 lines." That I learned the first lesson of my life as a research scholar, how to present a paper. For you, make a presentation, write a paper, but have a summary of 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. 5 minutes summary, you are comfortable with 5 minutes. If they will say 2 minutes, then it's okay. Say, "These are my findings, these are literature review, these are the primary sources on which I have worked." You will be comfortable and confident, and you will be appreciated by the audience and the fellow participants. This is my suggestion for you. Another very important thing that I want to share in short time, that try to first of all select a very micro level of topic, which includes one aspect, either society, either culture, either polity, either economy, or either any aspect, to make your presentation effective. If you incorporate all, it will be lengthy and nobody is ready to listen all the things or repetition of the facts. Try to write 3, 4, 5 pages, but that should be some new thing. There should be some new things that will attract the people. So that is hypothesis, then literature review, then research gap. How far the research scholars or the scholars have worked on this theme and what new knowledge you are going to produce. That will be very relevant and people will listen, bound to listen. Another is, in 1 point or 2 points, findings are so many, but 1 or 2 major points try to share with the audience. That should be the basis of writing any paper. Sachin Yadav, in a very brief, Delhi as economic hub. First of all, try to have a sub-themes of your paper. For example, role of sarais, role of karmas, role of routes, basic maps, mercantile, communities that was involved, and that made the Delhi as a center of trading activities. Your paper will be really acceptable and appreciable. The next paper was presented by Pir Muntazir, Indian Economy, Sultanate Mughal period. Again, I'll say that it is very vast. Try to choose century, expanded on the centuries, 17th centuries, 16th centuries, 15th centuries. Try to find out try to limit your topic by region wise. It should be Gujarat, Bay of Bengal, Madras, etc., etc. And first of all, go for original sources, primary sources. If you are not knowing Arabic or Farsi or any regional language, hardly matters, because अंग्रेजों ने हमारे लिए काम बहुत आसान कर दिया. उन्होंने अंग्रेजी का ट्रांसलेशन हमें दे दिया. Foreign writers, Italians, French, whosoever, now English translation is available. Try to see it while presenting a paper. So Pir Muntazir has also Siddhi Rais cartography. Try to learn how at that point of time Siddhi Rais has done, how compass has done, how sea routes were defined, how the Muslim sailors dominated the sea routes. Because for the first time when Portuguese came, the ship was sailed by Abdul Majid. So this was kind of information. If you will share, it will attract the audience certainly. Umar Yusuf paper, From Colonial Economy to Modern Economy, Ocean Trades. I thought that this is my area of research. This paper I am teaching since last so many years. But what I found, that you must talk in terms of the international trade, how the colonial economy was provided a basic infrastructure, a basic contours to the modern economy, whether it was taxation system, whether it was the monetary system, whether it was the currency system that is known as fiscal system. Take one aspect, try to locate your researches on this theme. B.R. Ambedkar has done a lot. Many more historians, modern historians have done a lot, and that will be very, very useful and relevant. And this is very nice. He nicely presented. All the scholars brought try to write, convey or argue according to the historical and scientific temperament. So that is another thing. This is my observation. Abdul Bari. Again, this is very important theme, economic reforms under Khalji's. So here one thing is you should keep in mind. We are hardly interested in reforms, Alauddin Khalji's reform. Market control, everybody knows. Agrarian reform, everybody knows. What we want to know, how these reforms are sustained for a larger period. Whether it continued during the Mughal period, whether some of the elements continued during the British period. If it continued, so what was its impact? Do you think it's continued even till today? Rationing system, public distribution system, this was the legacy that we carried. So try to connect with modern era, modern age, that will attract the new generation. That is when then new generation will study how this is, the legacy is being continued, how the institution is being continued. The next paper, Ziaul Hasan. The ethical values. Gentleman sitting beside me. Ethical values, how the ethical values are important in the life. It is very important. Irrespective of religion. All religions of the world emphasized ethical values. Emphasized to be ethical in your life. Social life, political life, economic life. Islam has too emphasized. We are believers, fortunately. So now we have more responsibility because we have Quran and Hadith. So ethical values had its impact on the governance system. Once ethical values will be eroded, then the decline, disintegration started, and one day or the other day, the civilization died. One major reason was ethical values. Nabila Rahman. Again, very interesting theme, very interesting topic, dealing with the Unani medicine. Now we are in modern age, contemporary age, we are looking about, searching about the alternative medicine or indigenous medicine. She talked about the Sultanate periods, Hakim Ajmal Khan, and particularly emphasizing on the women health. So I should point out one area she has perhaps not touched. The rulers of Bhopal, popularly known as Begums of Bhopal, all the Begums contributed a lot towards the field of women health. They are so concerned, so particular that there's open women's hospital at that period of time when the gender studies were not there. So their contribution was immense in the field, and therefore, while writing a paper, Unani medicine in Delhi, their contribution must be acknowledged and recognized or incorporated. Last, Hilal Ahmed, written on military technology. It is very difficult topic to deal with. It related to the science, it related to the technology, it related to the diplomacy, it related to the art of strategy. It is therefore very difficult. So therefore, command over Persian, command over the Sanskrit and other languages, particularly talked about the Adabul Harb Shujaat. I don't think you have seen this book. If you have seen this book, you have consulted this book, then you will be able to write on military technology. Then try to find out what modern writers, Ali Attar from Aligarh Muslim University, who has worked on art, technology, military technology of the Sultanate period, Kaushik Roy, He has written extensively on the Mughal, not Mughal, medieval period and then colonial period. So try to consult all those books in context with the primary sources. Then your research will be up to mark. You will be acknowledged. You will be recognized as a historian, as a political or military scientist. Now the Rashid Khurshid, Mughal science or technology. Again, what is lacking with our new generation? Either they were consulting some one or two or three books, not knowing the primary sources, not knowing even the secondary sources. And sometime when we asked in the interview board, okay, what are the primary sources of your PhD? Two students failed to explain. It might be their frustration, depression, distress, or a lot of pressure upon them, but they should come out. This is the domain in which they know more than the experts know. So therefore, Deepak Kumar has worked on this. M.A. Alvi from Aligarh Muslim University, he has contributed a lot on the Mughal science and technology. Again, A. Rahman conducted a project at that time it worth of crores of rupees on science and technology that evolved during the time of Mughal period. Even the women's particularly contributed a lot. You know Noor Jahan? Noor Jahan was fan of fragrance and she promoted whole science of distillery and perfumery. So this aspect should be included in your researches to make your research worthwhile and so that the world should recognize your. Thank you very much.